Hello and welcome to another episode of Can Do Conversations. I am Cheryl Williams, also known as the Can Do Mom.
I'm CJ Williams, the Can Do Dad. Thank you for being here.
Welcome, guys. We're happy to have you here today.
Yes.
We are excited to bring you another short and sweet episode today. And we appreciate you guys sharing the show and getting the word out there and spreading the message. And so
you were loved.
Continue to do that so we can continue to build a thriving can-do community and continue these conversations with you guys and with others. And we know it's going to make a big impact as well. And that's why we're here doing this.
That's what we like.
That's what we appreciate you guys. So if there's one thing that we can ask is for you guys to share the show. That really helps us out. We appreciate that. So today's topic is one that's near and dear to our hearts.
It is.
It's hearts. It's all about how small deposits create a big investment. And this is true in a lot of things, but definitely when it comes to relationships. And so that's primarily what we're going to focus on today for this conversation is how small deposits on a consistent basis add up to that big investment when it comes to your relationship.
Yes, and it means a lot.
It does. It's the little things. You know, a lot of people think, let's take a vacation. Let's go over here. Let's go over there. Let's do this. Let's do that. It's like, so you're leaving behind the challenges, the problems to then take this vacation, but you're taking those with you.
With you, the baggage with you.
Right? And then you're having this vacation and then you're going back. Right? And thinking, well, that fixed it all. We're good. Okay, let's,
good? We're good,
right?
You
so
good?
Then we keep moving on. It's like, no. You've got to address the things daily. And so why we call it the small deposits is because it's the little things in relationships and everything as well. It's like the little things that stack and add up that create the overarching overall view.
Yeah, so we're not talking about overdoing something like, let me give you a trip, or let me buy you all these flowers, or do something, and then everything's going to be good. It's not going to work that way.
And it's not saying that anything is wrong with any of these. It's to show you, though, it's the little things that make the big difference, really. And so when it comes down to it, just something as simple as, holding hands. This, connects you, and you can not like the person in the moment, but when you're connecting, right? Something happens. It bridges that gap and that divide.
And also remembering what brought you together in the first place.
What did you like about the person, right?
Yes,
I mean, we've had times where, like, I love them, but I haven't always liked them, right?
No,
it's like, and I'm sure that the same goes vice versa. It's like, however, when you have joined together and said, okay, we're going through life together. That's the commitment that we made, right? And a lot of people are okay with just throwing that commitment to the side and say,
D-word.
It's like,
divorce.
And we don't mean Dallas, right? The big D. There's a song about that. I'm going through the big D and don't mean Dallas. It's like, look.
Really? Can you sing?
Do I need to sing?
Yes.
Going through the big D and don't mean Dallas. I can't believe what the judge had to tell us. She got the Jeep, I got the pal, or something like that.
Right.
It goes along something like that. It's been a while, but
They're going to tell us you're not allowed to sing the song.
I don't know what they're going to tell us, but that was my little rendition. There you go. Okay. Haven't listened to that song or heard that song in a long time. But like country music days, just they come back again and again.
Howdy.
Just like the other night we were at that concert. I mean, it was just, I was embarrassing the heck out of the kids.
I was jamming.
Singing every song.
And the kids were like, you know that song?
How do you know that song? I know a lot of songs, guys. Look out.
Yes, and we danced.
Yeah, we danced. And again, something as simple as that, right? When was the last time that you tapped your spouse or your significant other or your partner, whatever that is for you, right?
Yes.
On the shoulder and said, let's dance.
Yes.
Right?
Drop
Is that something, though, when you guys were dating that you did, that you enjoyed? So then why is it when all the things that while you're dating or while you're courting or while you're looking to impress
you're doing the extra things,
the other person, you're doing these little things.
Opening the door.
Right. It's like those are the types of it's the little things, right? And so something as simple as just some music comes on and you dance. Like you're letting go of everything else that's going on and you are connected together.
Right. Just like she told me. I wasn't thinking about it, but on our walk, she said she liked that when I just stopped and we danced. She told me.
And again,
I was like, really? Awesome.
Okay,
And that
so
made me feel good.
it's
That
these-
she felt good.
it's the little conversations though too. It's like now he knows like, oh, well he got not a reward, but I told him
She is
like
the reward.
that I enjoyed that. That made me feel good. That put me in a different place and space. And so by telling him that, what do you think he's going to do more of? Do you
Tap,
think
tap, tap.
he's going to say, well, okay, a song comes on and maybe we're just sitting down reading to the kids or we're sitting down on the couch.
Yep.
And you know, a lot of times like even though we spend the majority of our time together, we work together,
Yep.
we live together, obviously, we have
Do-
kids
we do?
together. Yeah. We're out in the middle of nowhere together. Like
Yes.
we go on our walks together. Do we have our separate time? We do. But a lot of the time we're together. However, even in that togetherness, we're not really together.
No, because she's doing one thing and I'm doing another.
Because we have the roles, right, that start happening. So then if you do have a spouse and they work over here and you work over there and then you come
They're
back
not
and you're
even
like,
home.
ships passing in the night, you've really got to work on it. But even more so for the people who work together, it's like, we work together all the time. Well, that doesn't mean shit, right? You can be
Right.
together with somebody
And
who you're
not be
working with
together.
and not together. And that
Or say a word.
that sometimes is the sneakier one than the ones when you actually know you're physically proximity, not together, versus when we're in the same house, we're
Yes.
within feet of each other, right?
Yes.
But if we're not making that conscious
12 feet.
effort, if we're not being intentional, days can go by, right?
Right.
And it's like,
Just like I walk by, I have to go to the bathroom that way and I have to pass her. What do? I stop. I wasn't doing it. Spank, spank. And now I do. I come and I give her attention. I kiss her. I give her a kiss on the cheek. I'll rub her head. I'll do whatever needs to be done at the time.
and then what happens? I melt, right? That's
Yeah.
pretty much how that works. And so it's like we all get these walls that start coming up and they start very small. And it can be like, maybe someone did something that ticked somebody else off. And so you got a little riff, right? And you don't really address it in the moment. And then
Just skip over it.
you skip over it. And so then a day later, and something else happens. And it's like another little chink, right? And maybe someone said something that wasn't as kind as it could have been. And so it's like, oh, okay, we're taking withdrawals now, right? These are all little withdrawals out of the account. And if we're not consistently making deposits, you're withdrawn, right?
Right.
Physically, spiritually, intimately, you start withdrawing from one another and have this divide that then you've got to work
Right. This
even
is not
more
gonna,
so.
And then that's not going to help because not going to be in the mood for that because the wall's there and you're not discussing or talking about it.
And so before it gets that far, start doing the little things so that way when something does come up or you do have the challenge or the argument or the disagreement or the discussion or they did something that ticked you off or you did something that whatever it goes both ways, right? And so those things can be washed over when more deposits than withdrawals are made. And so throughout your day, how are you making deposits? And again, telling someone, I love you, that's a deposit, right?
Yes.
But just flippantly walking away, yeah, I love you, bye, see you later. It's like,
That's
is that
nothing.
just something you do
Right.
or are you putting some action behind it,
Yes.
right?
Do you come get a hug and a kiss before you leave instead of just saying, bye, see you later?
Or, like, do you know the things that they enjoy and that they like? And so you give them more of those, or you help them with that, or maybe they're going through something and they need, they're working on something. Maybe you can take care of the kitchen or you can take care of the kids. And again,
Yes.
it's like, it's not just always a sexual something either.
Right.
A lot of times it is things that that have nothing to do with intimacy that make the intimacy even more abundant because all of these other things are being taken care of.
As small as we both have the same app for our walking. A timer to let us know how far we walked. And she always has it ready and on. And then we're walking already. She has it ready. So we discussed it. And then I said, I should do that because I expect you to do that. But I have the app and how come I'm not even doing that? Something as small as just me having an app ready so she doesn't have to deal with it all the time. Because sometimes she's doing videos, she'll do a short video and they'll say, 1 mile, your time is, dun, 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 dun,
Then it
dun,
ruins
dun,
my
right
video.
over the video. That's happened 6, 7 times. So just little things like that, and that made me feel good that I'm not going to depend on her to do that.
And again, it's the initiative, taking
Yes.
the initiative. And, you know, I have a tendency to be the one in the driver's seat and lead. I'm the one that's like, okay, let's do this. We're going to do that. We're going to hit this. We're going to do that. And yet I appreciate it even more so when he does that. When he can be in his masculine and go, and I can be more in my feminine and step back, that works better. Because if I'm, wearing the pants, so to speak, or if I am driving, or if I'm the one that's always pushing, then he's not, right? Because there's a yin and a yang. There's someone's always moving more or pushing more or doing, and so if I'm always the one doing that, then he's not. Versus if we flip it and he comes and asks me, like, what are we doing for a workout today? I'm like, you've got the same freaking app. Why don't you check?
Right.
Right? And that's kind of how it started getting. Now, is that nice? It's like, no. But I think he got the hint. It's like, look, you've got the exact same thing I do. Why don't you tell me what we're doing for the workout?
Just like the weather.
Right? It's like, what's the weather? I'm pretty sure you have the exact same app that I would have to go get on my phone to look at what the weather is.
Yep.
You could look at the weather and tell me what it is, right?
Yes.
It's these little things.
Little
it's like
things.
Little things when you start getting used to that, though, and you start taking that for granted, it's like, then it becomes like, an executive and their secretary. It's like, it's not my role.
Yes.
It's not, my job is not to tell you what to wear today and how to dress for the weather and what the workout is. Where you take responsibility for you. I'm going to take responsibility for me.
I picked my red.
So it's again, and not that asking someone for something is, but when it starts becoming something where you're relying on that person for things
All
that they
the
can do
time.
themselves,
Yep.
then it becomes like, it's not hey, let me go tell you what the weather is today. That's different, right?
Yeah.
And so
Or it's helping in the kitchen.
right, little things. When he does the dishes after I cook the meal, that's great because now I can move on to something else.
Right.
Or when we're like, you know what? We're going to go for our walk and the kids are going to do the dishes. So now we have
Yes.
time for just us where we
Yep.
know we're not going to be interrupted, at least for the first 5 minutes. And we have, our time out there. And that's the other thing is like for a long time, we were on our walk. We're like trudging down the path. Here we go. We're moving. We're going. And it's like, again, we're just next to each other. Why couldn't we be holding hands? Why
Yes.
couldn't we be,
Having
every
a meeting.
we normally talk and have
Yeah.
have a meeting. But again, like when we work
Show
together,
affection. Yes.
and that's the thing is we kids together, business together. Sometimes when you're an entrepreneur, the business can get in the way of the actual business. You know what I
Yeah.
mean? It's like the
Right.
relationship business goes on the back burner because we have business to tend to. And
Yes.
so if that is the dynamic that you have in your relationship, you've got to have some boundaries around that
Correct.
too. Because that's a 24/7 thing. You get up in the morning, it's like, oh, I got to get my computer. I got emails. I got this. I got calls. I got this. And then at night, it's like we're talking shop, right?
Yep.
So when is there ever a time when that gets turned off and it's just us?
Yes.
It's
watching
back
a
to
movie. Even
watching
though
a
the
movie.
TV's always off.
But it's like, you know what? We haven't watched a funny rom-com in a long time.
Yes,
Let's do
we
that,
just
right?
watched one. It
and
was
so
great.
we just sit there and we watch it and we laugh and you chuckle.
Yes.
And
And we didn't have to be up under each other.
no. So
No, she has the recliner.
it's the little things, right? Or just, going over and nuzzling against someone's ear or, just
Yeah.
it's the little things.
Yes.
And you need to know what your partner likes and
Yes.
what
They
floats
don't
their
like.
boat. Do you know what I
Yes.
mean? And we all know how to push their buttons, right? And make the little jabs or little snide remarks or little comments or little
Those
digs.
aren't nice. We don't do that, by the way.
Sometimes.
Yeah, but
When I tell you,
very-
hey, don't you have the app you can figure it
Oh,
out?
yeah,
That's a
but
jab, right? It is.
But to me, it's not a jab. It's just saying, look in your damn phone.
Right, like, be self-sufficient. You can figure this shit on
Yes.
your own, right? However, little things like that, again, are little chinks. They're withdrawals. And so if you're not constantly adding to that, if you're not building and creating more deposits, then it's not. Just like, something as simple as getting flowers. Unexpectedly, that's great, right?
Wonderful.
going and setting up a date night without having to think of like, when he goes out of his way to say, we're going to do this and this and this, and I don't have to think about it, I love it because all throughout the day, I'm constantly thinking of things and making sure the schedules and checking the kids and are they good? And do we have this going? Are we doing this? What appointments and schedule? And so when he takes the initiative, then I'm able to just be. I don't then have to do the next thing and figure it out because he's taken that over.
Correct.
And so for me, that's a big thing because now he's planning it. He's doing it. He's saying, hey, let's go do this, or hey, let's go do that. And great, I don't have to think about it. I'm game. I'm ready to go, right? It's on the calendar.
Yes.
Let's move.
You already know what she likes.
Right? And if you
Take her
don't,
somewhere she likes.
and if you don't know what he or she
Ask.
likes, then it's time to get to know each other a little more, right?
Ask
it's
those
time.
questions.
And here's the other thing is like, just like you grow and evolve and change, your relationship is going to grow and evolve and change. And so we're not saying that your relationship should be the same when you were dating as it is now. However, it should actually be even better because you know the person more.
Other.
You know, you have a history, you have things to actually work with, right? And so when you're working with that, you have more, when you're first, you don't know shit about the person. You don't know what they like or what they, so you've got a lot to learn, but you also have an advantage the longer you've been with somebody because now you have history, right?
Yes.
Now maybe that history is not a good history and you need to rewrite the story and
you
that
can fix
comes
that.
up too. And sometimes, it's easier to say, you know what, like, you have to look like the grass is always greener, so it seems, right?
Right,
but
until you're there.
If you abandon the relationship that you're in to go to a different relationship, you're starting fresh and new. You're going to have challenges. You're taking yourself to that relationship, and whoever the other person's coming over, you're going to still have the same challenges and obstacles and hurdles to overcome. So why not work with what you got and figure out how can you rekindle? How can you make those deposits? How can you build each other up and grow together and actually be better today than you were yesterday or last decade, right?
Well, that's with communication and talking and having fun and getting to know each other all over again and just spending more quality time together and doing things together if you work apart or not. And spend time with each other without just talking about the kids. There's shows about that all the time. They go out and that's all they do is talk about the kids.
Why? Because they don't have anything else to talk about.
Else.
Right?
No.
And so you've got to rekindle. You've got to continue to grow the relationship. And, if you're in a relationship, like we were saying a minute ago, everyone's growing and changing. And so maybe take some fresh inventory and ask, like, do you still like this? Is this still enjoyable for you? Is there something new you'd rather be doing? Like things change, right? So maybe something he was doing or that he enjoyed, 15 years ago, it's not his jam anymore, right? No. It's like, so what can we do? Or maybe, you've gone to the same place over and over and over again to eat because you like that kind of food. But how can you change that up, right? Change up the routine.
Instead of the Chinese, get some Thai.
Right. And so all of these little things.
Thai food.
Ooh, that sounds good. All the little things add up to the big things, right?
Yes.
And a lot of times the big things are actually created by the little things. So, you can turn a mountain into a
molehill.
A molehill by
what
making
is
that
a molehill?
down.
Just
a molehill.
A hill,
it's like a
just
little mole, right?
A hill or a mole? What is a molehill? Is it a molehill?
A mole, like a mole.
Mole.
Like, M-O-L-E.
Yes,
yeah,
little
they make
mole.
little hills. Yeah.
Yes,
like
got
gophers
it. So a mountain compared to the little molehill.
Right. You're making a mountain out of a molehill. It's something small, but you've made it really big.
Got it.
Prairie dogs, they make those little.
Oh yeah,
little
watch
things.
them all the time.
You watch prairie dogs?
Yeah, in my shows I used to watch in the past about animals.
Okay, well we used to live somewhere where they had lots of prairie dogs, so they're like little.
No,
hills.
here.
Oh.
All the freaking holes.
Oh. I don't think those are prairie dogs.
What are those? Moles?
I think those are voles.
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 What the freak is a vole?
It doesn't look. It's nasty looking thing. It's mean.
Okay. Back on subject.
Again, if you don't know something, you ask, right?
I just did.
There's no stupid questions, and I think we need to let go of.
Yeah, of like I'm gonna look stupid, so I'm not gonna ask that question.
It's like, so then you don't ask the question. Well, then you don't have the answer either. It's
Never.
Like, so there's no stupid question.
That was a good example.
You don't
See?
make someone else feel bad for a question that they're asking.
Why'd you ask that? Come on.
They want to get to know you more. And so maybe even going through some of those like trivia things where you do get to know someone. And maybe doing that
might come up soon.
Yearly, right? So that you're really getting to know them. Because I know who I am, when I was 20 is not who I am when I'm almost 40, right?
No.
It's not, I'm not the same person, right? Nope. And neither are you. And so for me to expect for you to expect I like the same things, for me to expect you like, we're growing, we're changing. And so it's the little things. Yes, little gifts. Those are nice,
Yes.
And
caring,
the other thing is, though,
affection.
You've got to know, like, if the person is working on eating well and doing right, and then you bring them a box of chocolates, maybe that's not the best
the flowers
thing,
instead,
right? And so
and hold
think
up on
about
the chocolates.
you got to be not just here flowers and chocolates. That's what you do, right? You get flowers and chocolates. It makes it all better. It's like, you got to know the person too, and so know what they need, know what they like.
Exactly. And then if you do get chocolates, it's not a crime.
One here
and
or
even
there.
if they're right, you just don't eat the box.
Like we got each
What
other
we do-
Valentine's Day chocolates, but we were on 75 hard
like we are
during
now.
Valentine's Day. So we went ahead and bought the chocolates for each other.
Big ones.
We exchanged them, and then we put them on the shelf, and we said,
And
okay,
that's where they stayed.
when we're done with 75 hard, then we'll have our box of chocolates. We'll have a
And
few
we did.
here and there. And again, you'd have
it
one
lasted
here.
a long
Lasted
time.
for freaking months because we just have one here and one there.
One there,
So it's
yeah.
like you've got to know where you're at. But these little
Yes.
things, like if you like giving, you got to know the love languages too. If you like gifts, does the other person appreciate gifts, right? If
Or
you,
you need
is
to
it
know
words
the
of
look.
affirmations?
How about the look?
The look. Oh, the
The
come
look?
hither look. Are we smizing? I'm gonna keep my look.
Private.
Yes.
Okay.
I don't want other people to know my look.
Okay. Here's mine.
That's not your look. Oh my gosh, no. No. That did nothing for me.
Wasn't supposed to.
If it's your look, it's supposed to.
It's their look. It's my look for them.
Okay, well, that just gives me creepy vibes. I'm sorry. And being able to laugh at one another. Laugh. Like,
Fun.
when you were dating, did you laugh? Did you do spontaneous things? Like, did you
Laughing.
call somebody up and say, hey, can you be ready tonight at this time? Let's go. Okay, great.
Yes.
Oh,
Yep.
wonderful. Oh, this is fun. This
those
is
shoes
exciting.
on. Not
right?
house slippers either.
So sometimes the monotony, the same old every day is what kind of just like, same thing, we're going to take it to the bedroom now. Like, if you're used to doing the exact same position, the exact same way, the exact same, like,
You gotta change
put a
it
leg
up.
here, put an arm here, the hand goes,
and then good night.
and then it's like, okay, 3 minutes later, we're good. It's like,
Yeah.
how about we change that up? Maybe
Right.
you go somewhere else. Maybe you do something. Maybe you
start
study up a
slow.
little bit,
Yeah, start real slow, and then you.
Like, my bag of tricks is different. Tricks, get it? Tricks. Is different now than, 5 or 10 years ago. Why?
Right.
Because I'm a different person.
There's
I
no
have
flips
developed.
now.
I have explored. There's things to know. And I came from a background where, sexual things were not a thing. We didn't talk about it. We didn't know about it. So, did I have some learning to do? Yeah. But guess what? Is that a bad thing? It's like, no, I've embraced that. It's like, I'm going to pick up a few books and study a little bit.
Yes.
Maybe I'm going to do a little research,
Yes.
And then
now
I'll
you
make
have
him my guinea pig over here for my research.
And she has to hide the books because our kids read through our books. Thanks,
cannot
Wes
have a book
Watson.
I cannot have a
Mr.
book
Wes.
anywhere.
That's the latest one.
Yeah, where everyone is just reading everything I have. So I have to
Ooh,
have
the language in this book.
I'm like, well, that wasn't for you.
Yes.
Okay.
No.
So again, you've got to
Love you, Wes.
have some tricks, have some things up here, and then test them out. Do you like it?
Yes.
Does your spouse like it? Is it enhancing things? Is it spicing things up?
Right.
Is it
Do you need to go shopping?
enjoyable? Do you need, maybe there's a place, there's
Yes,
online.
go
You
shopping.
can,
Yes.
all kinds. And so the taboo
studying.
subjects that have been taboo for a long time, maybe you explore that a little bit.
Yes.
Maybe you look into there and see, well, what do I think about? Have your, I ask the kids all the time, like, what's your hypothesis? Like, let's test this out, And so take the scientific approach.
Yes.
You test things out and see, do I like that? What do I think? How would you? It's like, So again, you don't know what you don't know. And
Right.
saying like, well, I don't like that. How do you know you don't like it? Have you done it?
No.
So then whose word are you
don't
taking
know.
for that, right?
Right.
Is it you saw it in a movie, you heard about it, someone told you about it, and you're like, oh, that's dirty,
Nothing's
that's gross,
wrong
don't do
with
that.
trying it out.
So it's like, again, be you, own yourself and who you are, and be able to expand that, and then
Yes.
create a world where
Yes. And then you'll be having more fun doing it together.
And I think at the end of the day, that's what it comes down to. Have
Fun.
fun. Life is hard
And love
enough.
each other.
Life is hard enough. There's enough shit going on in the world. There's enough crap.
It's enough.
Like, you don't need
It's
to
enough.
spew that on one another. You should be able to come to one another in a safe space, hand in
Yes.
hand or arm in arm,
Arm in arm.
and be who you are and express yourself fully
And express your love also.
with the person that you've said you want
Yes.
to do life with.
When was the last time you said, I love you?
And not just in a flippant way.
Right. Love you. Bye.
There's a difference, right?
No,
When was the last time
I
you texted
love
the
you.
person and just said, or left a note somewhere, or got them a little gift, or said, hey, I was thinking
Yes.
of you. You know, he brings me coffee all the time. It's like little things because he knows what I like, and so he brings me my coffee. Do I ever make him coffee? No, because he always makes his coffee, right?
Yep.
But the couple times that I do, he's like, oh, thanks, right? So it's like little things. How can you do little things? Because
Yep.
it's the little things that add up. Could you take a trip somewhere? Yeah. Is that nice? That's awesome.
Yes.
But are
Go
you
for
going to
it.
be taking a trip every single day? No.
Nope.
Could you hold hands every day? Could you, kiss someone every day and actually like make it last more than just a peck on the cheek or on
Right.
the lips? Like, maybe
Mwah.
sit on the couch and have like a makeout session. Like, that's okay,
Yes.
right? Kids, that's okay. They can go to bed or they can be doing something. They can be outside playing.
Tell him about your kiss-o-meter.
Yes, I've told
Tell
him.
him.
So I have, I have a kiss-o-meter, and it's just like a fuel
Yes,
gauge,
forever.
right? It's on E, and then we have for full, right?
Yeah.
And so if I sound beep beep beep, and he knows what that means. Like, okay, I need more of that, right?
Yes.
That's more than the act of like physical intimacy,
Right.
sex,
Just-
whatever you want to call it. Like, just something as easy as that
Yes.
fills my cup, right?
Yep.
It works for me. And so you've got to know what works for you, right? Now,
Everybody's going to be different.
does that work for him as much as it works for me? No. However, he knows
But it makes her happy.
by doing that, he's probably going to get more of what he likes as well because he's taking care of my needs,
Yep.
right? And we all know, like, men are like microwaves and women are like crock pots. Or nowadays, it could be the Instapot and the crock pot. We can change it up a little bit.
Yeah, we don't have a microwave.
No, we don't have a microwave. But anyways, right? And so
It's been great not
It
having
takes more normally for women to get there. So work with that. Play with that
Yes.
resistance. Have some fun with it. How can you work up to that throughout the day or throughout the few days? And then
you
the
go.
treat that you're getting later is going to be more than just,
It's
a wham bam,
scrumptious.
thank you, ma'am.
Scrumptious.
It's gonna
or
be really
chocolatey or caramel.
It's gonna be really good dessert. You know what I mean? So again, have fun with it. Oh, that's another thing. Dessert.
If you have fun, go in the fridge.
Yeah, have some fun.
We'll leave it at that.
Or that's all we're gonna say. Maybe we'll have a whole nother episode just on fun things, right?
Yes.
Just little
Send us questions.
ideas.
Give us
because
ideas.
when we're talking about these kind of things, this is one of
It's
the
a
major
conversation.
inhibitions because it's been a taboo subject for a long time. And there's
It
no
has.
reason for it to be. And you can go back to biblical days. And it's like, look, this is something man and woman
Yes.
come together and become one. Well, what does that mean? You're becoming one. Be fruitful and multiply. Well, how the heck are you going to be fruitful and multiply
How
if
is
you're
that?
not in the act of doing something, right?
It just
And
happens.
so this poof, it just miraculously just happened. It's like, no, that's
No.
not how it works. And so
No.
you've got
Takes two.
to tango.
Yes.
We need some tango lessons. Yes.
Here we go in dancing again.
Yep. We need some tango lessons. Flex and everything. Right?
What the hell is
I
that?
don't know. There's some of those you have to. What's that one where the foot like?
Oh, the leg
Yes,
that flops.
It comes through like it.
Yes, yes.
Yes, it's a-
yes.
that kind
we
of
don't
move.
watch Dancing in the Stars
We'll just
anymore.
go ask
For
Derek
10
Huff
years
and
we
he'll-
haven't watched it.
He'll take care of that for
Yeah,
us.
I miss him.
He'll fill us in.
Derek Huff, we miss you.
So again, this is about you embracing you. But while you're embracing you and knowing yourself and telling your partner, filling them in so there's
Filling
not
the cup.
filling the cup, but then they also have to do a lot of guesswork. Like if you can tell your spouse, I like this. I don't like this. Hey, I'd like more of that. Can we do more of that, please?
Yes.
Oh, how about, instead of having them try to guess and be like, well, you figure it out, right? It's like, let them know. So when he dances with you and that's something you like, say, hey, babe, that was really nice. Could we do more of that?
Yes.
Oh, okay. Note to self, right? Oh, hey, that was really nice when we went out to this meal and had this time and hey,
Yes.
it was really nice when we just went outside and took a walk and held each
just
other's
saying,
hands.
oh, that was great. Thanks.
Right.
It
And
doesn't
so
work that way.
when you can be in the moment and say that, but then a day or 2 or 3 later, you can say, hey, you remember when we did this? I really like that.
Yes,
I
express
appreciate
yourself.
it. Thank you. And
Probably
so then,
told your friends, but not your man.
right. Or your, vice versa. It's
Vice
like,
versa,
you've
yep.
got to open up, communicate, right?
Yes.
Let people know. This is conversations.
Yes.
Can
Have
do
somebody
conversations.
Get it out. Get it out.
What are we getting out?
Communicating.
I'm looking over here or what?
Communicating.
What's happening?
Communicating. Spitting it out when it's
If
locked.
it takes that much
If
to
it's
get it
locked
out.
in, come on. Get it out. Because sometimes it can be hard for people, so they need an extra kick in the ass.
Do you know why it's hard? It's because they're
'Cause
not
they don't do it
doing
anymore.
it. And so
Yes.
the more you do something, the easier it gets, right? And so when you develop that and you develop the honesty and you develop the communication and you let the walls down and just say, you know what? I want more of that, so I'm going to do more of this, right?
Yes.
If this got me that, well, maybe I do more of that and I'll get more of this, right?
Yep.
And so it's like somebody has to be the initiator to break down the walls, right? And to just say, you know what? No, I want what I want. So therefore, for me to get what I want, I'm going to give the other person what they want because I know when I give them what they want, they give me what I want.
There you go.
You see how that works?
In a nutshell.
And so maybe sometimes you have to, put on your big girl panties or put on your big boy panties and be the one that says, you know what? I'm going to let go of the bullshit. I'm going to let go of yesterday or last week or last year or, the decade or whatever it is, right? And I am going to do more because I want more, right? I want more from our relationship. I want more from you. I want us to grow and blossom and thrive. And so I am going to be the initiator of that. I am going, and then it's amazing when you start doing those things, how there starts to be a reciprocation of that, because it's
Full
like,
circle.
oh, we're sparking the ember, right? We're getting it going, and then the ember turns into a small flame, and you keep stoking that and keep breathing, giving it air and oxygen. It gets bigger, right? And it continues, and then it starts to roar. And so if you can just start the little flicker, get the little thing going a little bit, and then
Yes.
you're both working on giving it air,
Together.
it continues to grow. It continues to get hotter. It continues to really
Fan the flames.
Fan the flames.
Yes.
See, we've been together so long, we just fan each other's sentences,
Yes.
apparently.
Fan them.
And sometimes you might need a fan because it gets hot. You know what I mean? So,
Hot in her.
take off all your clothes. Don't get them started. It's not that kind of show. It's not that kind of show. That's the after show.
Oh, okay.
That's the late night.
It's the red.
That's the Candid Conversations After Dark.
After dark. With the
Okay.
mixed drinks.
Yes, we've talked about doing this, not the after dark thing, but like
Yes.
having conversations where we don't
Make it-
drink a lot, but even like, the virgin drinks,
Yes,
just something
we'll do
fun to
virgin.
make, and every once in a while, like
Yep.
just something, but to have
Different
everyone like
mixed
come
drinks
together and just have
And
some
have
fun.
a conversation.
And maybe
Yes.
show people some other ways of being able to have fun, festive drinks that
Yes.
aren't, laden with alcohol. And so you
Right.
can still, you don't be so tipsy. You can have fun and
Yes.
then
Yes.
still have time
Be
for
you
fun later
Without that.
in the after dark session.
Yes.
So, who knows? We've got lots of ideas and possibilities
Game
and
show.
things. Oh yeah, we've trivia.
Yes.
Like
About each other.
love connection.
That was it.
Yeah.
Love connection.
So we've got lots of things up our sleeves over here, and our little magic hats that we'll put on, pull out bunnies and all kinds of things. So
Bunnies.
yeah, the magic. We got the magic.
Oh, okay. I thought you were just gonna pull out a bunny from somewhere else.
No.
Oh.
No.
A hat. Oh, okay.
No.
Cool.
So we appreciate you guys
Yes.
listening in.
Thank you so much.
And we know this is a topic that is probably going to ruffle some feathers. Now,
And it's okay.
I don't think that we brought up anything that really should ruffle feathers.
It should
We
not.
attempted to keep the conversation as PG as possible. Now,
Yes.
down the road, we might
Just
push the envelope a little more.
a little.
Because we know this is a topic that needs to be discussed.
That's
This is
not
a topic
discussed a lot
that-
without being gross.
And this is a topic that we have had a challenge with before, right?
Right.
And so we know that if we've had a challenge in this, and we
Yep.
talk to other people and they've had a challenge in this, we're not the only ones, right?
Right.
And so it's very easy to get comfortable and get in the routine of the same old same and just doing
Yeah.
it. And then the drift starts to happen. And so if
Right.
you're in that where you're in a boat and you got to get the boats back together, right?
Yes,
We
or
need the
you're gonna
boats to come
sink.
together, or you're going to go off and continue to drift, right?
Yes.
And the only thing that does is it drifts apart. And so you've got to make a conscious effort to bring that back. And
Correct.
even if you are in a newer relationship, even if you're not married, work on
still
that
find
now.
out what they like.
Have that open, honest communication now. Have
Yes.
those talks. Have that
What they don't
conversation.
like.
And then continue these conversations as the relationship continues, right?
Correct.
Every time, continue to grow and ask questions and be inquisitive, right?
Yes.
Be new and fresh. Even if you think you know everything about the person, things have changed, right? So what they like and what they don't like and what they want and your goals and dreams change, right? And where you're going. So the relationship changes as well. The dynamics change. The structure
does.
changes. So let it grow and evolve and change as well. And that's the conversation for today. So
Yes.
remember, guys, share the show. Send
And
it
I'll
out
keep
to
my clothes
anyone.
on.
Please do. Send it out to anyone that you know that needs to have this conversation.
Yes,
Share it
share,
because that's
share.
how we're able to
Grow.
continue to spread the message. And remember, guys, we can do it, and so can you. Talk to you next time.
Bye-bye.
Love you guys.